Fellow YouTuber Skylar Dan TV has a new video on Will Smith and why nice guys finish last. And if you want to see that video, you can click the link in the description box. Those who refuse the gift of eternal life are condemned to wander in the darkness of eternal night. Coming this fall from SJS Direct. I recently did a live stream deconstructing this high-value man hustle, and there were some in the comment section saying that I was jealous of these individuals who are presenting this image of the high-value man, and then there were some that were saying that I was making personal attacks on said individual. Now, I want to set the record straight as related to my presentation. Now, I am not jealous of any of these individuals who are out here presenting this so-called high-value man gimmick, because I can see right through that gimmick. And the reason why I presented my live stream about this high-value man hustle was to deconstruct this gimmick so you could see the con being played on you. Because when it comes down to the black community, I do not want to see my brothers and sisters exploited by some hustlers who are running a gimmick I know that's going to do harm to them. And my presentation in that live stream was no different than my videos on your Jesse Williams a couple of years ago when he won the BET award. Now, a lot of people thought your Jesse Williams was going to be the next big thing in the black community, and that he had the black community's best interests at heart. But I could see right through your Jesse Williams, and I saw how this opportunist was trying to use the black community as a stepping stone to elevate his career at the expense of the black masses. And many people went out here and attacked me, saying that, oh, I didn't know what I was saying about Jesse Williams. Jesse Williams is a good man. Look at all of his work in the community. Not understanding that I had worked at AmeriCorps for the Strive East Harlem Employment Service. I had worked around many of these elite black men, and I knew how these elites operated, because a lot of them, what they would do is go out here and do some work in the community and use that to build up their credibility, and then use that as a stepping stone to move up in the white community at black people's expense. And your Jesse Williams went out here, he used the black community in his community work, got his BET award, and then was looking to step out of the black community, first by divorcing his black wife that he used as part of his facade, and then get out here and have a relationship with Minka Kelly. And once that happened, all of the people who said that I was so-called jealous of Jesse Williams then saw that I was right about your Jesse Williams. And the same thing is going on with this high-value man. I have traveled in circles with these alleged high-value elite guys, and I know how they operate. And that's why I know this is a gimmick, and I know what gimmicks are, because as a writer, I know how to create characters, and one of the elements that a weak writer has is using a gimmick to make this character appear to be more visually attractive and be able to draw people in with the gimmick. And usually, again, weak writers use gimmicks to get characters over because the character does not have enough internal elements that make them compelling. And that's what the high-value man gimmick is all about. It's all about trying to make somebody appear to be more valuable than they actually are, because when it all boils down, their internal character is extremely flawed, and they need to overcompensate by putting on this facade in order to draw you in and get your attention. And then what they do is after they put on the gimmick, they act the part in a two-dimensional way, and that draws you into their story. And once they earn your trust, that's when these predators try to swoop in and take advantage of you. Because the high value man gimmick is all about earning your trust, and then once they earn your trust, they can then get you to be sold on the hustle. Again, what they want to do is get you to buy into the character that they are presenting. And once you buy into the character and earn that trust, then they want to sell you on the hustle. So this high value man is nothing more than one of these gimmicks that many of these weak black males use, and these males really lack internal character, so they have to go out here and use this gimmick to get your attention. And all I'm trying to do is try to present you with the facts so that you won't get taken advantage of by these hustlers, and you won't be drawn into the games that these guys kind like to play. And a lot of these people, they don't really understand how these cons are played on black people, and they don't really understand what these cons do to both black men and black women. These cons, they wind up destroying trust among black men and prevent us from being able to work together. And these cons do damage to black women because once these black women's trust is broken, it makes it nearly impossible for a sister to go out here and connect with another black man. Because your black woman is emotional, what happens is she winds up attaching to this man, and then when this man breaks her trust, what happens is she never really heals from it emotionally, and she puts up emotional walls, and this does severe damage to the sisters out here. Now, when you really take a critical examination of this high value man gimmick, you can really start to see the holes in this gimmick, because as I stated in the live stream, many of these guys, they put on this gimmick because, again, they lack character, and they really show us how really treacherous their character is. Because what these guys do is they will sit there and try to present this image of wealth and success, but they don't have a wealth of morals or wealth of values. And oftentimes these guys are putting on all of this airs because this draws people to them, and it makes them appear to be some sort of big shot. But again, as someone who has worked among the elite blacks when I was working at AmeriCorps at Strive, and worked in a supermarket back in the 90s on the Upper East Side and saw rich people, I can tell you that your high value people are nothing like what this gimmick is presenting. No, many of your wealthy people are not going around here bragging about expensive clothes, expensive cars, or buying the highest of high-end stuff. No, your really wealthy people who live on the Upper East Side, no, these people, they live very modestly. These people go out here and they wear worn down, beat up clothes, and these people, they drive beat up hoopties. No, what these people do is they will go out here and they have lots of property, they have lots of investments, and that's what people who are wealthy actually have. Moreover, your wealthy people invest in school and they invest in their health. They will send their kids to top private schools, and they will go out here and eat very healthy. Because when I was working at Food Emporium from 1996 to 1997, I watched these people buying organic milk, fresh fruits, lots of water, spending over $1,000 at sometimes on getting their groceries, and I noticed what they spent their money on. When these people came to the market, they weren't wearing clothes like I'm wearing. No, they were wearing your Walmart jeans and your Gap t-shirts, and that's what people were wearing out here every day. Even when they went to work, they would wear beat up old shirts, and they did not really put on this big image of high value, because for them, they were about building family and they were about building wealth. So their kids would have good educational toys, their kids would have a good education, and they weren't about going out here buying a designer suit and talking about fine cologne and all of this fancy stuff. No, even when they went out here, it was all about business. It was all about building family, and then all about building wealth for that family. Now, another hole I can easily poke into this whole high value man gimmick is the fact that most guys really don't need to put in all of that effort into being this false image, because most of the women aren't really choosing these so-called high value men. And that can be seen by what David Carroll has pointed out regarding your white males out here. I mean, if you look at your black males who put on this suit and talk about high value, and then you look at the black females and who they are choosing, that's when the argument starts to fall apart, because most black females aren't really interested in this so-called high value man. Most black females want a decent black man in most cases. And according to the David Carroll argument, a black man who is high value usually is passed over by your black females, because some of them are out here looking for that white male. And that's because that white male is considered high value, because that white male has something that she wants, which is the white man's milk. So he's sitting here talking about the black man needs to be wearing all of these designer clothes, these designer shoes, and have all of these luxurious, high-priced amenities, but your white male can go out here and be dressed all raggedy, have no job, have no education, but some of your black females who are self-hating, they're gonna go out here and choose this white male, whether he be one-legged, broke, on drugs, in prison, practically all a complete mess. And the reason why she's going to choose that white male is because what she values from that white male is that white man's milk. So that's where the argument falls apart on one side of the three corners, as I see it. The first part of the argument falls apart because most black women just want a decent working class brother. Then you have your swirlers who only want your white male for his milk, and that's why they consider him to be high value. And then you have your pookies out here, and your pookies out here, they aren't doing anything to show themselves as high value. No, your pookie is getting chosen because your pookie basically is a overgrown child, and many of these black females are choosing him because they know they can easily get power over him. So the high value man argument is one that can easily be torn apart, because when you really look at it, these so-called high value men, these are the same educated lames out here who are looking for a gimmick to get them over with women, and these guys don't even understand how sad they actually are. They will say, oh, I'm a hater for breaking down this gimmick, but I break down this gimmick not out of the so-called jealousy or so-called taking an attack on this individual. No, I break down this whole gimmick because I don't want to see black people taken advantage of by this gimmick. I don't want to see black people hustled by these hustlers, and I don't want to see black people ripped off by these hustlers as they go out here and sell you a dating coaching, books, and other things that I know aren't going to work. The same way Steve Harvey's Act Like a Lady and Think Like a Man book didn't work for black women over a decade ago, because a lot of sisters bought into Steve Harvey's gimmick. He was wearing all of these custom tailored suits and selling people on these seminars and telling them all of these lies about how to think like a man, but in actuality he was presenting you how a simp thinks. And we have simps once again running another gimmick talking about high value men, and they're trying to use this gimmick to sell to black men and black women, talking about high value, when as someone again who has worked around these kinds of people, I know that they operate in a completely different fashion, and they don't go out here bragging about high priced clothes, high priced shoes. Yes, some of them have these things and they take them out for special occasions, but for their everyday, they're not going out here dressed like this and trying to put on this type of image. No, they want to go out here and leave a first impression by putting together quality work and putting together quality business. No, that's what they're working on, and they want to build wealth for their families, and they want to build families. So when I listen to this latest gimmick, it is no different than your select and non-select brothers a few years ago. A lot of beta males looking to try to make them push up their place in the social pecking order, trying to use a gimmick to get themselves over. But these same guys, they want to get a fast track on trying to move up the social ladder, not looking to put in the work on intangibles as related to their manhood, such as their character. And if these guys would put in the work on their character, they would be considered high value to the people in their communities. And if they put in the work on a relationship with the Most High living God, they would be considered of the highest value to the Most High, because they are looking to put in the spiritual work. But these guys, they don't want to put in any sort of real work on anything. No, what they want to do is sell you on something quick and easy, because they want to make a fast dollar at your expense. And that's the points I was trying to make in my live stream, and I'm trying to make them here again, because again, do you see any white men going out here talking about high value as related to black women? No, these black women will just see these guys as high value for the white man's milk. Do you see Pookie talking about high value? Because Pookie is getting all of the things that he wants, and he's not buying into any gimmicks. He's just himself. So you just need to be yourself, and you need to go out here and put in that work on that relationship with God, and put in that work on your character, and you will find that people will see you as a high value person because of the content of your character. And that's the one thing these guys don't want to work on, because if people saw their true character, they would see how truly dysfunctional these guys are. And a lot of the haters out here, they don't like seeing that mirror shined in their face as related to this high value man gimmick, and they want to buy into this high value man gimmick because they think that it's going to lead to the fast track to success. But they don't really understand that if you don't learn how to value yourself and see yourself as valuable, and see yourself as valuable because God put you here on this earth for a purpose, that no amount of dressing up is going to dress up the the lack of character you have. If you dress up the outside, it's not going to change your inside, and your inside is the thing you need to really work on. I mean, I'm the same guy whether I'm wearing this Brooks Brothers shirt or this designer tie, and I'm the same guy no matter wherever I go, because I understand it's about the content of my character and not this whole exterior that makes me high value. What makes me high value is my relationship with God, and what makes me see value is God on this earth. So high value man, as I see it, is nothing but a gimmick. And a lot of the haters out here, they want to say that I'm jealous of this guy. No, I'm shaking my head at this guy and those who follow this high value man gimmick, because they're losing time out of their lives they could have to do other things, and they're wasting time that they could use to go out here and develop themselves. So I look at them and I see how sad and pathetic they are, because you're going out here dressing up your outside like a child, not understanding that a man focuses on his internal character issues, and that's where he learns what true value is, by developing and focusing on becoming a better man and focusing on the things that matter as related to internal character. If you'd like to learn more about the simp paradigm and why it's dysfunctional, you can pick up my book, Stop Simping: Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance. And if you want to learn more about the simp paradigm and how it affects men on the job, you can also pick up my book, Stop Simping in the Workplace. And if you want to pick up my other men's issues books, like The Man Crisis and Why 70% of Black Women Are Single, you can find those books on Amazon.com right now. And if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the link in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, The Temptation of John Haynes. Give in to temptation and pick up this action-packed African-American paranormal romance. Get The Temptation of John Haynes in paperback and